Hello and welcome to Design or Design. My name is Maria and this channel is all about fashion, all about trends, and yeah, today I'm going to be talking about the prints or patterns that are going to be popular in the spring summer 2023 season. To be frank with you, there weren't a lot of prints on the runways. Everything seemed to be either just one simple color or maybe a variation of one color in different textures. But you guys who love patterns, I am going to be showing you what I did see in the runways and we'll go on from there. If you want to wear patterns and just don't know where to start, I have a video about that. You can check it out maybe after watching this one. But as I said, there was not a lot of patterns out there, so yes. So the first pattern I'm going to be talking about is plaid or gingham print, basically lines intersecting together and making a pattern. It's a very classic print. I don't think there will be ever an anti-trend of it. It's going to be always there. If you're an artist, you must have your primary colors in order to paint, and that is basically it. Plaid is one of those primary colors that will always be there. We do see some interesting variation, like maybe check print, maybe having it a little bit wacky in some of the shows like Jacquemus and another one that I don't remember. But other than that, it's pretty simple. It's very classical and it can be worn anyway. So next one I'm going to be talking about is the tie-dye kind of print, a very organic shapes, very flowy, and it is pretty much everywhere. Once again, we've seen it throughout many shows, even many seasons. It is usually worn in a kind of a boho style, very casual, but we do start to see it in more of tailored items and more edgy colors, maybe like the color gradient in clothing, like a rainbow pattern, having nice transitions from color to color. Those are really hard to get. Jill Sanders has some knot work also in their garments, very cool. Prada having like really big spots of paint, and Ela Johnson. All right, next one is very popular. Well, not very popular, like 2 shows had it, but there was a lot of it there. Balma and Roberta Cavalli, they had these sky angel scenes in the prints of their clothing. Some of them were more abstract, some of them were super vividly detailed. We have different color combinations in them. This is one of my most favorite prints that happened during the shows. We've already seen these in corsetry, a lot of that in streetwear photography. So it's pretty cool. I quite like it. And from that, we also have actual body prints. Kind of like in Balmain, we see here we have a masculine one, we have feminine ones like covering up, something like what I'm wearing right now, having kind of a body shape print on the garment itself. We also have this in Christopher Kane, but more like body parts, like an arm or a leg, which is not the most flattering image on there. It's pretty cool when it's like covering maybe like boobs and stuff, but I don't know. We have a lot of it in off-white, having like a skeleton x-ray printed on it, or maybe having body shape contouring lines going on there. In Vivetta, we have hands kind of holding cherries, I guess, in interesting places. We also have a Y Project. They were really onto this in their previous collection. This time around, they went and scanned actual clothing and printed that onto the clothing itself. Photo of the clothing on the item. It is really interesting. It still gives you the illusion of like a smaller body frame, so it is pretty cool. Another one that I've seen that caught my eye was the flames in Balmain, and that them being on silk, so when it moves it actually looks like it is on fire. It is beautiful, but it was only that one show. We also see this kind of a carpet style of clothing, weird shapes and prints, very graphic, but kind of a woven into the fabric, not printed. And that was mainly in Bottega Veneta. as well as a different show that I can't put my finger on. All right, another very classical but with an interesting twist, we have some polka dots, especially in Sport Max. We have them on different scales, but they are using all of those trendy colors together in a combination and in interesting clothing like a bodysuit, pencil skirt, or a full-on outfit, everything with those polka dots. We also see polka dots in Burberry with some interesting skirt action there. Chanel is very classical, so why not have that? We also see one outfit in Yves Saint Laurent and some outfits in Jacquemus having those circular spirals or just polka dots themselves. All right, so the next one will be stripes. That's once again another very super duper classical print. We either have them like pinstripes, super tiny so they're barely noticeable, or maybe something more intense like in Kenzo. Once again, using all of the trendy colors together. We have some very simple ones in Etro, striped shirts combined with a dress or pants. We also have them in Dior, very neutral colors together. Carolina Herrera also having lots of stripe in their work. Burberry, once again, Vivetta. Yeah, so stripes can be interesting way of attracting attention to a certain party part. Maybe it's your upper half if you want to kind of visually make it wider, bigger. If you have really wide hips, it could give you a nice illusion. Or the other way around, if you have very broad shoulders, you can introduce the horizontal stripes in the bottom. That way you can even out your body proportions. But if you just love a pattern for its own, feel free to wear it no matter what the size. It's just, I'm giving you little hints if for some reason you don't like horizontal stripes on you, and now you can figure out why you don't like them. Okay, moving on to florals. Of course, spring, summer here, and how can you not have florals? It's once again one of those primary patterns of fashion industry, especially during the spring, summer. And we both have the spring florals, which means they're on a lighter background or white background, as well as we have some winter florals that are on dark background. We have some of those in Dior, which are very breathtaking, and in Carolina Herrera as well. Colors are pretty intense in a lot of prints, but there's also some that are subtle and very feminine. Caperni also having those winter florals, Diesel having very bright combination of colors. And you know what? Prints are really fun and easy to wear. They're a little bit harder to actually put together though, because prints are so busy. Usually any kind of stain can be hidden in that print. It can also visually minimize lines on you, like for instance, underwear and bra lines. They're not as visible as if they were worn flat one colored piece, for instance, but they are quite difficult to pair. So I encourage you to check out my video on how to start wearing prints or how to master wearing prints. It's a pretty old video, but I feel like it's pretty good still. If you'd like to find out more ways of how to style prints or maybe even how to design prints yourselves, I encourage you to check out Skillshare. I have an affiliate link down below, and if you do sign up, I do get a little commission. All right, so we're still here on the florals, and as you see, we have florals of many sizes, not only small dainty ones, but also on a bigger scale. And right here you can see some graphical patterns that are a little bit circular. I still call them florals just because they're very organic. Some of my favorite prints are from Alexander McQueen, having really cool juxtapositions on their very vintage looking prints. Fendi had very little prints, but they're very modern and fresh. Versace had a lot of floral prints, and they were combined with kind of a zebra print or even lettering there. You can totally see for yourself. Very unexpected from Versace, in my opinion. Okay, so another print that we have is kind of like either line work, or is it like old city maps? I have no idea what it is, like in Dior right here, but it is graphical. It's usually black and white. Maybe it's a kind of the same, but in a philosophy here, having white on red or red on white. If you're enjoying this content so far, please consider to like this video, maybe leave me a little message, and if you're not already, please subscribe. I know that 90% of you are not subscribed. If you do, you will drastically make my day much better, and I could potentially make this my full-time job and create more videos about fashion industry. Animal print. Anybody who loves animal print, here we go. We don't see a lot of it, but we do see it still. So one of the major contributors was Dolce & Gabbana. We also see like one or two pieces in Louis Vuitton. We also see a lot in Roberta Cavalli. Well, both Dolce & Gabbana and Roberta Cavalli use a lot of animal prints in their designs, so it is very obvious for them to keep using it. It's kind of in their core. And we have some contrasting prints occurring in there, as well as in Gucci having like a tiger print and a cheetah print. We also have a full-on cheetah moment in Yves Saint Laurent and a more of a youthful Y2K moment in Vivietta. All right, let's move on to something else. We have some graphical moments here and there, like in Fendi with the square sweaters. We also have some Hermes and prints, which are very interesting. Can't say that I'm super big fan of them. Nobody asked my opinion. One of the cooler prints that I've seen was in Loewe and is being kind of a pixelized outfit. In Louis Vuitton, we have these oversized dramatic prints of buckles and belts. The whole show was based around oversized zippers, so that seems to be an okay choice. We also have this kind of a graphical, I would call it like a technological glitch of patterns, some more geometrical, like a zigzag lines, but nothing too crazy. Maybe some of those glitches are more reminding of like a zebra print just because of the black and whiteness of them. We also have some of the lines, more of a curvy ones in Jacquemus, having very lilac and browns and nudes in there. Reisa Veneza having like a spiraling ones, and Gucci. Okay, so Gucci had the most creative prints in my opinion on the runway. They used all the bright colors, very interesting like just items on there. A few of like lettering prints in there. We also see some lettering in rock, and we also see that the logo in Valentino. Let's talk about some other prints that I wanted to mention. We have a little bit of a fish bag situation in JW Anderson. It's a very cute dress, would be an awesome Halloween costume. We also have odd prints in Moschino, continuation of those like little animals, kids fairy tale. This time there's even blown up animals on the runway. If I were to sum everything up and tell you that something new happened on the runway, according to prints, there was nothing. But if I were to pick my favorite print, it would be the body yadi yadi, because it can be very flattering for anybody, because it kind of gives you a shape that is drawn on the garment and it kind of ignores what you look like. But it's completely up to you. I would even wear if it was like super baggy shirt and having like a really cool print of a body on there, maybe like even men's body, I don't care. It is very cool looking in my opinion. I also really liked the heavens scenery, very beautiful, very majestic. The color combinations were fantastic. Did I see something new on the runways? Not really, but it's still there. It gives us an idea of what patterns to go for. Is it like a bigger pattern or a smaller pattern? How to combine them? I quite like to experiment with patterns just because I'm a pretty messy person, and if I'm wearing a pattern, it's not as noticeable that I have a stain from like eating like a person who doesn't know how to eat. But still, I hope you enjoy this video, and maybe comment down below what's your favorite print that you just absolutely cannot live without. Maybe consider subscribing if you watch this video to the end. I would love to have you be a part of this community, and it will help me a lot to grow, because I want to make YouTube be my career, put full time into this in order to talk about fashion more. Anyways, as I mentioned, check out my video about how to start wearing prints. If you haven't checked my color trend report, you can do so right now. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay classy.